You deserved it, my brother smirked as I lay at the bottom of the hospital stairs. My parents rushed to comfort him, saying it was an accident, right, Julian? I couldn't speak through the pain. But what they didn't know was that the security camera had captured everything, and the head nurse had already pressed record. Then I tasted copper before I felt the pain. My vision blurred as I looked up the sterile white stairwell. My shattered leg twisted at an unnatural angle beneath me. Standing at the top, perfectly unharmed, was my older brother Julian. You deserved it, he smirked, his voice a low, venomous hiss echoing down the concrete steps. Footsteps hammered down the corridor. My parents burst through the heavy fire doors. They didn't run to me. They ran to him. Oh my god, Julian, are you okay? My mother gasped, frantically checking him over. It was an accident, right, Julian? He just slipped. Julian's face instantly twisted into a mask of pure terror and guilt. It was a masterful performance. I tried to grab him, Mom, he choked out, forcing a fake tear. I tried. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell them he shoved me with both hands because I refused to sign away my share of our late grandfather's estate, but my ribs were cracked, my lung punctured. I couldn't speak through the suffocating pain. As the paramedics rushed in to stabilize my neck, I caught sight of the black security dome blinking on the ceiling above the landing. More importantly, I saw Maria, the hospital's head nurse. She was standing by the monitors at the nurses' station down the hall, staring directly at me. She gave me a single, barely perceptible nod. She had seen it all, and she had already pressed record. I spent 3 agonizing weeks in a hospital bed. During that time, Julian played the traumatized, innocent brother perfectly. He told our extended family I was emotionally unstable, that I had lunged at him in a jealous rage and lost my footing. My parents bought it completely. They even suggested I surrender my portion of the inheritance as an apology for the stress I put him through. I just nodded. I let my silence be mistaken for defeat. Maria visited me on her breaks. On my second day, she slipped a silver flash drive into my palm. I copied it before administration could bury it. She whispered, "Take him down." I didn't want a quick arrest. A simple assault charge wasn't enough for what he took from me. I wanted utter public annihilation. The opportunity came 2 months later. My parents hosted a massive, catered dinner party to celebrate Julian's promotion at his corporate wealth management firm. All our extended family, his elite colleagues, and his boss were there. I showed up on my crutches. Julian looked annoyed, but quickly plastered on a fake, patronizing smile. "Glad you could make it, little bro," he loudly proclaimed, clapping my injured shoulder hard enough to make me wince. "So clumsy, this one." The room chuckled softly. "Actually, Julian, I brought a gift," I said, my voice steady, cutting through the laughter. "A short video to commemorate your character." I limped to the massive smart TV in the living room and plugged in the flash drive. "Oh, you didn't have to do that," my mother sighed, rolling her eyes as if I were embarrassing them. "I insisted," I replied, hitting play. The room went dead silent. On the 70-inch screen in crystal clear 4K, there was no sound, but the visuals were undeniable. Julian pinning me against the hospital railing, his angry, distorted face, and then a violent, deliberate two-handed shove directly to my chest. Worse than the fall was what happened next. The footage clearly showed Julian watching my broken body at the bottom of the stairs, casually checking his watch, and practicing his fake crying face for a solid 10 seconds. Before my parents opened the door, my mother dropped her wine glass. It shattered against the hardwood, the dark red liquid pooling like a blood I'd coughed up that day. Julian went ghost pale. The arrogant smirk vanished, replaced by sheer panic. That's a deep fake. He edited it," he stammered, looking frantically at his boss, who was already stepping away in disgust. "It's not," I said, pulling a folded legal document from my jacket. "It's the exact same raw file I gave to Detective Miller this morning. There is a warrant out for your arrest for attempted murder." My father tried to speak, his voice trembling. "Son, please, let's just talk about this as a family." "There's nothing to talk about," I cut him off, my voice ice cold. "You chose your son. Now watch him lose everything." Sirens began to wail in the distance, growing louder as they approached our quiet suburban street. Julian scrambled for the back door, but my uncles immediately stepped in his way, their faces dark with fury. I leaned on my crutches, watching the family's golden child crumble into a sobbing, pathetic mess on the floor. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just looked down at him and echoed the last words he said to me before my life changed. "You deserved it."